taking a breather when they should be entertaining the crowd, and that's why he ushered Isamu to his feet. But let's not be too hard on these fellas. 10 minutes of action with the full body weight and strength of your opponent on you at all the time.
Good crushing right hand there by Isamu. But again, Brian showing that wrestling credentials there. Over 100 amateur wrestling matches. Here you see Isamu using that cage to work himself back up. Good submission attempt, but Isamu is able to dictate that in reverse position once again.
Just take a look at the fighters' faces and you can see how they're grimacing, how they're giving every ounce of effort they can muster.
Tough match. Going into the third round, I could definitely see how a judge could have it 1 round apiece. Me personally, I'd give Brian a slight nudge, but not close enough to where I'd feel comfortable leaving this into the judge's hands going into the third and final round.
So this is it, the decider. We think Brian Choi may have the edge, but we're not totally confident. Isamu Himura can still come away from this contest with a victory if he dominates this round or takes it out of the judge's hands.
Brian looking to use those hands to get into that wrestling clinch if he can.
Good right hand.
Good takedown by Isamu, right into the half guard. Brian able to replace full guard here. As a guillotine attempt, it doesn't look expressly deep here. He does have an arm in. Isamu's got him against the fence, but if he's not careful.
I think part of the reason that Isamu chose to go low and take Brian to the ground is that he was on the end of a good right hand from Brian Choi and didn't fancy staying on his feet for too much longer.
Brian doing a wonderful job of controlling posture here. You see the red glove on the back of Isamu's head. That's keeping the strikes at a close distance. Obviously, distance equals power when we're punching on the ground. The more space I have, the more damaging those strikes can be. Isamu looking like he might be trying to attempt a leg lock here. Maybe a knee bar submission. Very dangerous submission to go for in MMA because of the fact that you give up so much position. Again, showing Brian able to scramble and get back on top.
Just shows what you're saying there, Ray. Just shows that Isamu feels he's in the more desperate situation, taking risks to try and end this one. Perhaps he realized that he may be behind on the judges' scorecards.
Brian with good head control here. That left arm turning Isamu's face out to face towards the cage is going to give him the ability to pass right into half guard or full mount. You see Gordino giving those expert opinions here. Being a third-degree black belt, having been the head instructor at Renzo Gracie's academy, you can't get a more experienced corner than that gentleman there.
Well, we're about midway through the third of these 3 tough rounds for these two.
Again,
Two fighters from the United States. Brian Choi, based these days in Singapore. Isamu Himura, fighting out of Los Angeles.
Again, Brian close to passing the half guard. I think he realizes that if this goes to the judges, he is going to win the decision. Back into the mounted position. I'd like to try to see him try to finish the fight from here. As said before, I do believe he will win the decision. Going for the arm bar.
There's the arm.
Going for the submission finish here.
So watch Isamu's left hand. Will he tap out? He seems to be fighting on.
Isamu, what he needs to try to do is he needs to try to step over Brian's head here. If he can step over his head, he'll be able to escape this armbar position and be in the side control.
Oh, he's still in a very...
The arm only breaks one way. So Brian aborts the armbar submission, goes back into that single leg, driving his shoulder into the knee of Isamu. Isamu doesn't have very many options here.
Both of these guys have showed enormous ability to get themselves out of tight situations. Some really classy reversals we've seen.
I mean, kudos to Isamu. This guy literally found out about the bout yesterday afternoon.
That's a heavy throwdown and takes a kick to the torso. Brian Choi, can he finish this fight on top?
Isamu walking forward. He's got to sense desperation in the fact that there's not much time left in the bout.
You can see how tired they are now. And a good punch could end this as fatigue really sets in. Isamu looking very flat-footed.
Good reversal by Isamu, but Brian maintaining that top position, head on the outside, looking to secure that double leg takedown.
Well, you can just see how tired Isamu is. Full credit to him. On until the final seconds, but those punches to Choi's side were lacking in power, let's just say. They're point scoring at best. They're certainly not going to do any damage to Brian Choi. So tiring. Both men will be delighted to hear the final bell, I'm certain of that.
Brian, good control in this position. Again, I have him ahead 3 rounds to none if this goes to a decision. And you have to think that his corner's telling him that. Just ride out the round. Land these short, choppy forearms, land these short, choppy elbows, maintain position.
That's all he probably needs to do. Just see out the fight exactly as you described it, Ray. Using the right hand as well. 8 seconds to go. And if Brian Choi can maintain this situation as Isamu's nose leaks blood, then he's probably got the victory. But it will go to the judges' scorecard. Choi up on his feet, walking across the ring, taking the congratulations of Chatri Sityodtong and the rest of his corner men. How do you see it, Ray?
I would have Brian Choi as the victor in this bout, 3 rounds to none. But Isamu needs to be given credit. The man recently came off a 6-month knee rehabilitation injury and taking this fight on 24 hours notice, not in a training camp. Being able to take Brian Choi, one of the assistant instructors at Evolve, all the way to a decision is a very impressive performance. I mean, nothing to lower your head about. This guy gave it his all, and the martial combat ring here is definitely where warriors are proven, and he proved himself as a warrior today in my book.
Isamu Himura comes out of this fight with full credit, but has he done enough to win the fight? The biggest smile is on the face of Brian Choi. Grazed on the side of his face, you can just see there. Pulls out his evolved gum shield. Confident, it seems, of a win. But I tell you what, there's a nice big smile on Isamu Himura's face. He knows that he gave it everything today. And although he may not have come out on top, he can be very proud of his performance, having taken this fight at very short notice.
Nothing to hang his head about. I mean, coming in as 1-2, facing a guy with over 5 professional fights, a 3-2 record.
Well, we'll go to our Master of Ceremonies, Uday Joshi.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the official results in front of me. Judge Joey Lipperton scores about 29-28. Judge Judd Sanchez scores about 30-24. And Judge Brett Gleason scores about 29-28. And by way of unanimous decision, the winner in the red corner from Evolve MMA, Brian Choi!
Congratulations again. Tell us your feelings about winning tonight on Martial Combat.
Well, I feel awesome winning, and I'd like to thank you, all the Evolve members, for coming out here. Yeah.
Coming into the fight, did you think that you would have to go the distance?
Yeah, because I didn't know anything about it.
So tell us about your training. How did you train to make for this fight?
I trained a lot of Muay Thai with the great Sityodtong crew, and I train BJJ every day with the world champions, and boxing with the PJ. Thank you, PJ.
Now he hit you with a couple of good hooks. Did he hurt you at all during the fight, or did he stun you?
Not at all.
Not at all. Way to be direct and frank. So your first fight here on Martial Combat. Any last words to your fans now throughout Asia? Millions of viewers are going to be watching this. Any thank yous to any of your friends and family, even back home in the U.S.?
First of all, I thank you, Chatri, and Professor Gojinho for giving me the chance. And then my little brother Tommy, and Mitch, and then Chrissy, everybody at Evolve Crew. Thank you.
Congratulations once again, Brian, Choi. Let's give him another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.